Okay, it's late November in southern Ontario. I wanted to do this experiment earlier in the year, but this is the first chance we got. We had a little bit of snow, so you're going to see a bit of snow in the background. This is going to show what happens when you have a solid axle and you're going around uneven ground. You're going to see one of the wheels, and that's a problem that we're going to try to resolve with this articulating axle that I'm going to install on here. So I'm going to start the mower up now, drive around this tree a couple times like you normally would when you're cutting the grass, and you'll see what the issue is. You saw the wheel pop up about 5 inches, so anytime you have uneven ground, you've got that solid axle, tends to come up off the ground on you. And also, if you feel any small bump, you feel it more because the whole axle has to go up. If it articulated, it would only be half the elevation change in the axle when you go over a spot. So you'd also get a better ride out of it. So that's why we're going to attack that this winter, and we're going to solve it with a articulating axle. So we'll see you in the next clip. Okay, we're about 4 hours into the retrofit on the Toro zero-turn lawnmower. We've moved the front axle and tied up the mower with a chain so we didn't have to remove it. And then we've taken the axle out and we've marked where we want our cuts. And the axle has been cut off for the first part of the renovation. Set them there so you get kind of a perspective on it. So there they are, split and ready to go. Now I'm going to start the actual renovation on the main part, the center part of the shaft. So that's it for now. I'll get back to you when we're a little further along. Okay, we're day 3 into the retrofit, and everything's been assembled now. And I'm just about ready to disassemble it and paint it, so I thought it'd be a good time to do a catch-up video on what we've done. So we've got a 1.25 inch shaft running through for an axle for the pivoting. That the shaft is out of a hydraulic cylinder, so it's hardened chrome steel. We have a grease nipple on here for lubricating it, and there's a sleeve welded into this square tubing. In through here, there's a sleeve welded in there that contains the shaft, which will hold the grease to keep it lubricated. The shaft, there's a mark there. We're going to cut it off yet. That's the last thing to be done on that part of it. And you can see there's 2 sliders in the back here, and that's what the pivoting arm pushes up against. They're UHMW, ultra high density polypropylene, so it gives you a really hard surface for wear and tear. On the back side here, you can see there's a square collar that I put on here with a screw that locks the shaft in place, and there's been a divot put in the shaft so it can't flip in and out. And yeah, that's about it for this. We get 8 inches of travel, so that'll be more than enough to deal with any kind of uneven ground. I might put dampers under here if I need them, a couple springs maybe if I think that we need them later, but I'll test it out and see how well it works first. So I'm going to take it out of the vise and turn it over the other direction so that you can have a look at it, what it'll look like on the top, in the top view. Fair bit of weight. Like when it's sitting on the machine. It's not very good sitting here because you can't really see the pivoting shaft, but that's kind of the top view, what it'll look like. And then this area here will have the Titan, original Titan cover over it. It had like a Titan cover over the axle, so that'll be retrofitted. So it fits on here, and we're going to take it apart, disassemble it like I said, and paint it. And then, yeah, the next time you'll see it, it'll be on the machine. Hopefully, if the snow doesn't come, we got clear weather right now, we'll take it out in a couple of days for a spin and try it around that same uneven ground that we tried it on before. And hopefully we'll see a good difference. So hopefully we'll see you in a couple of days. Okay, we've got everything assembled and ready to go now. The axle's in, the shrouding's there, it's 100% complete. Be ready to mow if it was the right time of year for mowing, but everything's good to go. And yeah, before we take it out on our maiden voyage today, I thought maybe we'd talk a little bit about the suspension on this Titan, Toro Titan My Ride system. That was one of the reasons I bought the mower. It works very well. There's one spring in the front, and this deck floats, so that's the rider doesn't really feel any of the bumps. There's a couple of springs in the back, so you've got kind of a three attachment points for the 3 springs, and that gives you this kind of call it like an air ride, really. And then you can adjust the ride by shifting these in and out to different positions. Farther out is a firmer ride, and in is the softest position. So yeah, when you step on the deck, you'll see here how strong it is. Like, this is a really heavy-duty mower. That's one of the reasons I bought it. It's a good heavy industrial mower. I liked everything about the mower, especially like this My Ride suspension. But the one thing that I didn't like, of course, was that non-pivoting axle, because it I feel didn't give you the good cut when you're on even ground, and it also affected the ride to some degree. So this gives you a little bit of sense of what the floating deck's like. So yeah, it just absorbs, all the shocks of the ground are absorbed up into the springs, and the rider experiences kind of a flotation ride, which is very comfortable. And it allows you to have a higher back seat, because you're not getting that banging in the upper part of your back that you get in a normal mower if you try to have the seat back too high. So in this one, yeah, I have a fairly high seat, and it's quite comfortable, and I was really happy with the mower. So now I'm going to see if I'm happier yet with the way it rides with the new articulating axle. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, we're out at the original location a week and a half ago that we did the original test with a solid axle. So yeah, now we're ready to test out this new pivoting axle in the same location, and we'll see what sort of a reaction we get, and whether it keeps the wheels on the ground and levels out the ride. So we'll fire it up and we'll see where this takes us. Okay, that worked pretty good. The wheels all stayed on the ground. Mower stayed nice and level. I think we'll get a better cut performance out of the machine as well. And it takes all the stress off that frame. You can appreciate it. You've got one wheel off the ground and all the forces on that one side of the axle. That's going to put a lot of twisting force on the frame. So that's all gone now. That smoothed that out. So I think what we'll do is we'll kind of take it into another area that's rough and do another test, kind of like more in a sort of a straightforward mowing operation.